We'll have it up here on the screen. We are going to continue with our Nectar of Instruction reading. Very, very nice verses we're reading. I'll kind of catch everyone up. Before we do that, maybe Avani, if you want to scroll for everyone. Maybe even if you're really expert, you can zoom in for everyone. Right here. And we'll chant this prayer all together. This is an invocation prayer. We're asking the Guru Parampara to come and give us mercy and be with us via this in this Harikatha session. Continuing with our Upadesh Amrita. So this is, Prabhupada has translated this out as the Nectar of Instruction, but its original work is by Rupa Goswami. He took multiple verses from different works to compile this, different themes, and then ultimately it was to maximize your progress in Bhakti Yoga. So if you read Bhagavad Gita, the conclusion is Bhakti Yoga. The highest karma, Bhakti Yoga. The highest jnana, Bhakti Yoga. Thank you, Pish. And similarly, if you read Srimad Bhagavatam, that's the conclusion from front to end. Actually, tomorrow is Guru Purnima. Yes, so this is Vedavyas's appearance day, and Vedavyas is the one who gave us the Vedas, from which the whole world has divine knowledge, actually. And so, the way to actually understand the Vedas, you can just read the Vedas, that's one way. But actually, because we're contaminated with a conditioned mind, we will not get as much from that as if we hear the Vedas, actual proper Shravanam from a bona fide sadhu. Actually, that's why we invite so many guests here, because they are more elevated than ourselves, and they have more of this experienced hearing from acharyas and gurus who are giving this bona fide knowledge, and they actually, the Vedas are inside their heart, and they're able to transmit that to us, actually. This is very important. The difference between just reading a book, really Guru Purnima means hearing, coming and hearing. So really, the final work of Vedavyas was the Srimad Bhagavatam. And how did he get inspired? Does anyone know how he got inspired to compile Bhagavatam?
He was, I think, very sad after compiling all the Vedas.
Yes.
And Sri Narada Muni comes.
Yes.
And tells him, like, he tells him, I'm still sad in spite of doing all the good work.
Yes.
So Sri Narada Muni teaches him, all this you can do, all the branches of knowledge you can know, but without Bhagavatam you are not complete.
Yes, yes. So without fully and wholly and solely devoting a work for the Supreme Lord, you'll never be completely satisfied. Where bhakti is the exclusive conclusion. Because he wrote many Puranas, and many things were there. Even Radha Krishna pastimes were there, but there was never one work completely devoted to the conclusion being bhakti yoga. So now, Srimad Bhagavatam is that work. So one of the things, you said it nicely, Narada Muni came and instructed him, and he actually took instruction. He wasn't able to figure it out on his own. So on Guru Purnima, and also maybe on Saturday when we celebrate Guru Purnima, that will be a theme that we actually, it's a great error to think that I'm very learned, I can just learn all these things on the internet or by a book or something like that. No, the process is through Shravanam, through hearing. And what Shravanam actually transmits is actually the experience of what's being said, not just the information. That's the difference between jnana and vijnana. And Krishna has designed the system in such a way that you cannot actually properly hear unless you're hearing from a person who's properly heard. So they have received that divine knowledge. Krishna has entered them through the hearing process, and actually through the hearing, the actual direct experience of Krishna is had, where it's not just information actually. So, no problem. He's very good. So it's not just information actually, it's a direct experience. So when you experience that direct experience of bhakti, you'll know. And that's why you'll keep coming. You'll develop a taste, you'll feel it, it'll hit you in the heart. And it'll only hit you in the heart if the person speaking the Bhagavatam, that they have heard properly, and then they're only transmitting the message down to you. So like this, without the Guru transmitting the chain of divine knowledge, we need Guru in our life. We need Guru in our life. So this is a conclusion of the Bhagavatam, conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita 434. And ultimately, the conclusion of this as well. That's why the first verse is what? Vacho vegam, manasakroda vegam, jiva vegam, udurapasta vegam, etan vegan yo vishaheta diraha, sarvamapimam prativim sashishya. So this is the first verse of this Upadesh Amrita. If you want to get the nectar of the instructions, the Amrita from the Upadesh, first verse is Vacho, Vegam, the urges of speech. Manasakroda Vegam, the urges, the demands of the mind and anger. Jiva, the tongue, the urges of the tongue. Udurapasta, the urges of the belly and the genitals. Vegam. Etan Vegan, one who's controlling these urges. By one, Etan Vegan, these urges, Yo Vishaheta, one is tolerating these urges. He is Diraha. And then Sarvam, all, Sarvam Apimam, certainly, he is across the whole world, Sashishya, he can actually make disciples. So this is actually describing what the qualities of a guru, and this is actually the first teaching of spiritual life. If you don't have guru in your life, I'm humbly requesting you, please reconsider. Please reconsider. And guru doesn't mean, yes, we all have Prabhupada as our guru. So this is very good. We can worship Prabhupada. Your guru needs to be Mahanta. Means they need to be here to hold you accountable. Even if you had a very, very nice guru for most of your life, but then he left this world, unless he has given you complete self-realization, which he may not have completely yet, then you should still find another guru, a shiksha guru, who can continue to help you advance. So guru is a constant principle in spiritual advancement. So this is one thing. Then it gets into the next verse, which goes, Atyahara prayasascha. Atyahara is overconsumption. So these are the things, this verse talks about what will destroy your bhakti. First, you have to find a guru, a qualified teacher. No, it's no problem. It's no problem. Okay, no problem. So you have to find a guru, actually. This is necessary. And then, once you find a guru, these things can still destroy your bhakti. Atyahara, overconsumption. This can come in many ways. Eating too much, collecting too much funds, or collecting too much knowledge. Maybe you don't need to know the instruction manual of every car you have, or this, that, and the other thing. Maybe, every electronic in your house, you don't need to know all the crazy information. You just take in that which is necessary for your bhakti and so on. So this atyahara, prayasas. Atyahara, overconsumption, leads to prayasas, which is over endeavoring. And why don't you want to over endeavor? You'll waste all your time. So let's just say, I'm going to spend 80 hours a week at the office. Well, why? Do you really need to spend 80 hours a week at the office? Or is there some other thing you're trying to maintain, maybe a lavish, family life at home, or this, that, and the other thing? Can you simplify this? So over-endeavoring will destroy your chances of bhakti. Then, atyahara prayasascha, prajalpo niyamagraha. Prajalpa is unnecessary speaking. So this is talks of the weather, talks of sports, talks of, mundane things of this world. Things that really don't matter at the level of sat. At the level of eternity, they don't matter. What's going on in the news, what's going on in the political world, what's going on in the financial world. These are all temporary arrangements. If you spend any more than necessary talking about them, because sometimes you'll have to talk about them. Like, I don't necessarily want to talk about car parts, but when I go to the store and I have to maintenance my car, I have to talk a little bit about car parts with them. I can't say, no, I only talk about God. Say, okay, well, will God fix your car? And yes, I was hoping he sent you to help me. So I have to talk about some car parts, but no more than necessary. Once I have my car parts that I need, then done with the business. So this is prajalpa. The next is niyamagraha. Niyamagraha is, niyamas are rules. Agraha is two things, agraha and agraha. Agraha is no disregard for the rules, the complete disregard for the rules. So meaning a complete disregard for the scriptures, the Vedas. No, I don't need these Vedas, I don't need these scriptures, I don't need any recommendations. If you go on and trying to practice your bhakti like this without any regard for the scriptures, this will destroy your bhakti. The same principle, the same thing on the opposite side. Too much attachment for the rules and regulations, where you can lose the Veda Sara, the essence of the Vedas. The essence of the Vedas is devotion, and so sometimes there might be rules that might contradict. Like, I can give you an example. Sometimes your guru will be present, or a senior will be present, and in the presence of a senior you should act one way, but if you're so caught up in trying to follow another rule, well, it says on Purnima you should cut your nails and shave your face and do all these things, and if you neglect a higher principle because you're following another rule, or it's a Kadashi, I'm going to follow fasting or do this and this, but you're neglecting the essence of the thing, actually this will destroy your bhakti. Getting too hyper focused on rules and not actually realizing the essence. What is the Veda Sara? What is the essence of the Veda? What's that?
I will cut my nails tomorrow then.
Yes. You can cut your nails tomorrow. It's a great day to cut your nails. But if it were to infringe upon a higher rule of bhakti, this would be niyamagraha. So like this. Then, this is a very important one. Jana Sangha. Jana Sangha is what? Worldly association. Jana just means people, actually, and Sangha, associating with people. But what's it really mean is worldly people. Most people are worldly. So actually, best be on your own unless you can find devotees. Best be on your own unless you can find devotees. If you find devotees, very good. Be with the devotees. But otherwise, just be on your own. Because if you start associating with the janas of the world, the many people of the world, they will impose on you the great blight of material existence, of prakriti, which is Maya or ignorance, avidya. So ultimately, if we start becoming very, very popular in the world, we will destroy our bhakti actually. If we start really, really interacting with so many people regularly. Now, to go on a mission to help people, that's one thing. But to go to give, not to take, from jana. So, jana sangha will actually destroy your bhakti. And then last, lolyam cha. So, if you have lolyam, is greed. So, there's actually one type of greed that's good. That's greed for spiritual advancement. That's greed for guru. That's greed for advancement in bhakti. Greed for service to Krishna. This is all very good. Other things, not good. Greed for mundane achievements, greed for money, greed for lavish arrangements in food, in sex, in home, in comforts of the home and living, things like this. All of this will destroy your bhakti. So these are actually from the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. And Rupa Goswami is adjusting them because it's also universal to Bhakti Yoga as well. And he says, Shadbir Bhaktir Vinashyati. So by these 6 things, your bhakti will be destroyed. So he's warning you. So first step, find a guru. Second step, avoid these things. They will ruin your bhakti. Third step, do these things. Utsahan nishchaya daryat. Utsahan, be enthusiastic. Once you have your guru's instructions, once you have the instructions of Krishna via the Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, do them enthusiastically. Be very enthusiastic. You have life-saving information, you have life-saving techniques and knowledge and so much. Do them very enthusiastically. Nishchaya, do them with confidence and determination. Yes, I'm definitely going to do this. I have firm faith that this will deliver me and give me a great result. I'm going to do like this. And Darya is being patient. You must be patient. If you can weather the storm, especially remember the mind, manasakrota vegam, the urges of the mind will just, no, let's go back to sense gratification. Let's go back to what we were doing. Let's just turn on the TV and drown out our intelligence and things. This will destroy bhakti. But if you are carry on, you're patient, and you stay enthusiastic, and you stay confident in the scriptural instructions, in your guru's instructions, you will make advancement. And then tat karma pravartana. So you're doing the activities that are prescribed to you. So the first is, would you know the first most important activity? Most important activity of bhakti. Well, it's not. In the long term, it's not the most important. But if you're starting from the beginning, that's the most important thing.
Surrender to the Guru.
Even before you can surrender to the Guru, you have to hear from the Guru. So you have to do Shravanam. Now Shravanam is, there's a lot of misconceptions about Shravanam. You can come and sit, and this could be considered Shravanam, but actually hearing is different. Hearing is letting the information come to the heart, submissively hearing, and actually feeling the experience. Also, Shravanam can only be done if there is someone qualified to give the Shravanam. If the person is not qualified, then you can only get as much as they've been given. So unless they've been given in Shravanam from someone else, you can only get so much. But the good news is we fortunately have been given something, so we can also give something. But if you really, really, really want to make advancement, you find a high-class guru, a high-class Vaishnava, who really has been filled to the top with all kinds of transcendental conclusions from their guru, and they eat, sleep, and breathe this Vedic wisdom. And this is the best person to do Shravanam. I can say I'm not that person, so if you just were to rely on this Shravanam here, you will only make it so far, as far as I can go, and that's about it. But that's, yes, this is the process, the proper Shravanam. So tat karma, so Shravanam, Kirtanam, and Vishnu Smaranam. So, and then once you've heard, you'll be given different prescriptions for what you should do, how you should adjust your life to make bhakti. You should practice those, pravartana, perform those tat karmas, or those activities. But now they won't be karma because they will be actually infused with bhakti. But you should perform them. Then, tat karma pravartana. And then it's sangha tyaga, the same as before. If one you were avoiding, on one sense you weren't getting in worldly sangha, and then also in in those sanghas, these worldly sanghas, you renounce them completely. That's again, this is very important. You have to not get so intermingled with those who are worldly. It's just either best you either be alone. Good to be alone. Even better, you find transcendental personalities and associate with. Otherwise, best just be alone. If you start associating with all kinds of people of the world, they will encourage you to do exactly what they're doing. And that's activities in the mode of ignorance, in avidya, that are hyper-focused on temporary things that can give only illusory gains that are all lost at the end of life, and actually will be considered a waste of life, a waste of the human existence, if this is all you work for in your life. So, giving up this worldly association, and then sata vrite. So following in the footsteps of the acharyas, following in the vrats of the acharyas, see what type of convictions the saintly personalities had made previously in their life. See what type of footsteps that they walked in their life. You can study the life of Srila Prabhupada. You can study the life of your senior devotees. You can study the life of your guru. What steps did they take? How did they make advancement? And ask them, how can I advance? So this is very important. If you do these, and then it says, Shadbir Bhakti Prasidyati. By these 6 activities, you will advance in bhakti. Now, after that, you're realizing, by this point, you're getting rid of all the worldly things and you're endeavoring. And now, you are associating, hopefully, only with devotees. The devotees of the Lord, those who are advanced in bhakti. And so now, at this point in the teaching, he says, Dadati pratigrahnati. So Dadati is, how do you interact with the devotees? You give gifts. Actually, many of you are very good at this here. Actually, I think over the last few days, almost every one of you, the temple has received a gift from you guys. So actually, this is good. This is actually a very proper activity. And we every day, even sharing this wisdom and information, this is the gift we get to offer every day, actually. So this is the proper thing to do. Dadati is giving gifts to the, especially amongst devotees, this is what you do. Dadati and pratigrahnati, giving gifts and receiving gifts. Because this is what spiritual personalities do. They give, and then they also, they receive. And they honor the gifts given by others. Then, Dadati pratigrahnati guyam akyati prachati. This is very important. Guyam means secrets. Akyati, you explain. Meaning, you find devotees, trustworthy people who are advanced and experienced, and you reveal your heart to them, actually. And then, prichati, you inquire from them about their guyam, their secrets. And then in that, the revelation of the hearts, actually everyone can make a lot of advancement, actually, in this way, because in seeing how everyone processes their internal heart, and especially when everyone is a mature, devoted personality, everyone can help each other overcome any obstacles of the heart and make advancement, actually. But especially in relationship to Guru, you should reveal the heart, for sure. In relationship to your mentors and spiritual seniors, you have to reveal your heart. If you don't reveal your heart, then it will remain hidden and it will remain blocked. And you're not actually fully opening up. So the relationship with the devotees is very important. That's what we're studying today, how to interact with the devotees of the Lord. So this is how you make advancement in bhakti. So first, giving and receiving gifts. Second, revealing your secrets. And then inquiring into the secrets that you'd like to know of them, and they will know. Like when we have senior devotees, they come. One of the things I like to do is just get them alone at some point, and then ask them, some confidential matters. How can I, advance in this way, or how did you overcome this thing or that thing, and so on. This is a very important part of bhakti. Then, This one is a very easy one. Bhunkte bojayate chaiva. So eating, bhunkte, so taking prasad, honoring prasad. Everyone's very good at that here. We come and we eating. Bojayate, and then feeding. Many of you in this room, either in some way, either cooking or bringing, the food, helping to feed others, spiritual food stuff. Prasadam, this is very good. These are the 6, and this, it said the verse concludes, Shad vidhang, priti lakshanam. So these are the 6 kinds of loving symptoms of interactions with devotees. So this is one, we have to get rid of all of the not so favorable association in our life, and then we find devotee association, very deep spiritual association, and then we have these 6 types of loving relationships with them, and we will advance like this. So that's where we've made it thus far in this Upadeshamrita. Now, not last week actually, because I think we had another program. But, we started this text 5. I didn't learn this one yet. But it is Krishneti yasya giritang manasajriyeta. You want to chant along?
Krishneti yasya giritang manasariyeta.
Dikshasti chet pranatibishcha bhajantamisham.
Dikshasti chet pranatibishcha bhajantamisham.
Shushrusaya bhajana vigyam ananyamanya.
Shrushaya bhajan vigyam anyam anya.
Nindari shunya hridamipsita sangalabdhya.
Nindari shunya hridam upsita sangalabdhya.
Very good. So, we read last week, one should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name of Lord Krishna. One should offer humble obeisances to the devotee who has undergone spiritual initiation or diksha and is engaged in worshipping the deity. So who's been engaged in devotional service by their guru? That's what diksha is. And a deep surrender, for someone to take diksha in their life, to receive the divya gyan from the guru. This is actually a very big step, and these people are very respectable people. I'm not saying this because I happen to be someone who's attempted this in my life, but actually this is actually these are the type of people we really want to associate with. So anyone who chants the holy name of the Lord, which you all do here actually, so we should at least mentally honor everyone here. Yes. Offer humble obeisances to the devotee who's undergone spiritual initiation. So amongst devotees, it's very common, they see each other, they bow, they say, Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha, kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I offer my respects, little obeisance unto the Vaishnavas, who are the devotees of the Lord. They're just like desire trees. They fulfill the desires of everyone. They're very compassionate on the fallen conditioned souls. So this is like a wish-fulfilling tree in front of me, and there's such a compassionate, merciful soul. I offer my obeisances to you. These are common things that devotees do, and sometimes for the sake of just following social norms, that people do it, but actually we should mean it when we do these things. But anyhow, that's a whole nother thing. So anyone who is engaged in worshipping the deity by their guru, by spiritual initiation, we should definitely offer our obeisances to. And one should associate with and faithfully serve that pure devotee who is advanced in an undeviated devotional service and whose heart is completely devoid of the propensity to criticize others. So now if you can meet somebody, it's kind of talking about the different levels of devotee. Anyone who chants the holy name of the Lord, they're at least a Kanishta Adhikari. They're a devotee, but they're like a kind of a neophyte. They don't maybe know all the devotional conclusions. So they make some offenses and do different things like that. And then someone who's undergone spiritual initiation diksha and is engaged in worshipping the deity properly and taking instruction and training from his guru, he should be at least on the way to the Madhyam platform. Now this isn't always the case because sometimes those in the position of guru may not even be at the Madhyam platform. This is definitely possible. But ideally, someone who's really taken diksha from the heart is a madhyam, or at the beginning of madhyam. But like I said, I'm not even sure I'm there. So, but this is what we have to. It's describing these things, and then one should associate with and faithfully serve the pure devotee, who is advanced in undeviated devotional service. He's constantly in service, and his heart is completely devoid of the propensity to criticize others. We were talking last week, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, if he heard any criticism of Vaishnavas, he would plug his ears, and he criticism of anyone actually. He'd plug his ears, and he'd say, "Everyone is doing bhajan except me." This is the mood he had. Everybody is doing bhajan, everybody is worshipping the Lord except me. I'm the only one who's not fulfilling my agreement. Even though objectively speaking, he's much more advanced in devotional service than 99% of people. In his heart, in his mind, he can't help but think that no. Look at how everyone is serving Krishna. Where is my service to Krishna? What am I doing? So that type of devotee, and they have no tendency to criticize others. We should very faithfully associate with and serve that pure devotee. And maybe even follow that devotee, take initiation from that devotee, and so on. So Prabhupada is saying, in order to intelligently apply the sixfold loving reciprocations we just talked about, you must select proper persons with careful discrimination. So he starts talking about the different adhikaras of devotees. Ideally, you find uttamadhikaris, top level devotees, or at least madhyamadhikaris. Kanishta adhikaris, or beginning level devotees, are also fine, but they will ultimately, Kanishta adhikari, another word for that is a prakrita bhakta, meaning a materialistic bhakta. So that the Kanishta adhikaris will also implicate you in prakriti, in the material world. So it's not enough just, everyone's a devotee, I'll just associate with devotees. Actually, you should associate with advanced devotees. This is very important. This is how you make advancement. If you think, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is giving the paths of yoga. And does anyone know, his conclusion is bhakti yoga. Everything else, he gave different paths of yoga, and then he concludes with bhakti yoga. Do you know why bhakti yoga is superior than any other type of yoga, or one of the reasons? Tell me.
It's the most direct path, and by just performing little devotional service, you can make rapid advancement.
Okay, but why?
It's so fulfilling.
Why?
The bhaktas that you associate with are actually so dear to Krishna.
Okay, now you're getting closer, but why?
Like, for example, Guru is Shakshat Diritvena Samasta Shastra. He's like coming, and he's like a manifestation of the Lord coming to instruct you. So it's like
yes.
completely different than on the
Again, why? Why? What makes Bhakti Yoga different than any of the other paths of yoga? Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Ashtanga Yoga.
The chances of fall are much less.
The chance of what?
Falling in the path.
Why?
So it's just coming by mercy, it's not coming by your endeavor.
Yes, that's it. It's because it's coming through divine mercy rather than aroha pantha, your own endeavors. Karma yoga has to do with how you perform your karmas, your activities. Jnana yoga has to do with how much knowledge you accumulate. Ashtanga yoga has to do with how much pranayam and pratyahara and how attentive you are in your techniques of meditation. It's relying purely on your own skill, but bhakti yoga is supreme. Why? Because the intelligent person realizes their very minuscule position and says, I give up. I surrender. I'm not trying on my own anymore. You take over here. I need your mercy. They realize the conclusion of all those paths lead to bhakti. Why? Because the intelligent jiva realizes their infinitesimal position, that they cannot do this on their own. And even all of the other paths of yoga, They require the faith in the system in the first place that's arranged by Krishna. So the intelligent person, instead of trying to follow all the technical processes that Krishna has given already in the first place, they say, well, actually, I'm just interested in you. You're setting up this game here. If you're at the workplace and there's the CEO of the workplace, and you're trying to, I gotta really serve the local director, and this is, you put all your effort into the path given by the local director. Let's say that's karma yoga. And then there's maybe, the regional director who's a little bit higher up, jnana yoga. And then even a little higher up than that there's the national director, like that. But the CEO, he's running all of that, and he's also at the office with you too. And he might say, hey, can you help me? No, I'm too busy with the local director and things like this.
Kashi?
No, that's Abhiram. No. Yes. So this is what makes Bhakti Yoga supreme, that you're not relying on your own minuscule efforts anymore. You're surrendering to the mercy of Krishna, as Piyush was talking about before. This is very important, actually. This is what makes Bhakti Yoga superior than anything else. How is that mercy coming? Actually, through the devotees, through the Guru. But it's all infused by Krishna, and in order for them to be qualified, they've had to surrender to Krishna. And then Krishna will come into them and infuse them. It's not by anyone's endeavor. Anyone who's still trying to distinguish themselves and make further endeavor and rely on their own endeavor, they will, and I've seen this in my life, and if you really carefully evaluate your life, you'll see you've anywhere where you've tried to maintain control of the situation, you've only gone so far. But if you surrender everything and give it up to Krishna and Guru, who is the representative of Krishna, and they've surrendered to Krishna, in order to be a proper Guru, that's what has to happen. They've through their Guru, and they through their Guru, the link of parampara is coming to Krishna. If you join the link of Krishna's mercy extension, coming through the Guru, who's Sakshat, who has he is directly Haritvena. He has all the qualities of Hari. So Krishna is actually infusing his qualities into that devotee. So this is only an Uttamadikari is so much so like this.
In the place where we come from,
Yes.
in South India, so they talk about two things. One is the monkey approach and cat approach.
Yes.
The baby monkey always holds on to the mother monkey.
Yes.
And if it falls, it falls.
Yes.
The cat holds on to the kitten and takes the kitten from one place to another.
Yes.
So both these approaches are given they teach in our portion.
Yes. And so both are fine. Like karma yoga, jnana yoga, Krishna starts with the monkey approach. You hold on, to this system and do like this, your own endeavor. But he finally, when the intelligent realizes, Arjuna, very intelligent realizes, I cannot do all these things. This is practically impossible. And then so Krishna decides to give him Rajaguyam, Rajavidya, Rajaguyam, Pavitram idam uttamam, Pratyakshavagamam dharmam, Susukam kartum avyayam. So he's saying Rajavidya, the king of knowledge. It's Rajaguyam, Bhakti Yoga. It's the king of secrets. Pavitram, it's pure. Idam, this. Pavitram, idam, uttamam. It's the topmost thing. And then we have Pratyaksha. So Pratyaksha, it's by your direct experience of Agamam, it will be revealed. Dharmam, through the practice, through doing it, it'll be revealed actually. And then Susukam Kartum Avyayam. So it will, you'll very joyfully do it as well. If you do this, it's Susuka, it gives all auspiciousness and all happiness doing it. In your Kartum is activities. And then Avyayam, what does that mean? Oh, it's everlasting. Avyayam, it's everlasting. So this is what he gives as the secret to Arjuna, is bhakti yoga. So this is what ultimately we're here to do. So Prabhupada was saying we should not remain a Kanishta Adhikari who is situated on the lowest platform of devotional service and is interested only in worshipping the deity in the temple. Such a devotee is described, and we went through the different devotees last time. The Madhyam Adhikari, they worship the Supreme Lord with the highest object of love. They make friends with the Lord's devotees, so they know how to interact with the devotees. We talked about this last time with senior devotees. They know that they should be submissive and try and understand their guyam or their secrets, try to humbly serve them and get their secrets from them. And then the devotees on their level, they should make friendship, that they're, dadati pratigrihanati, giving gifts, receiving gifts, inquiring into their secrets, revealing your secrets to them, feeding them and giving, and also getting fed by them. So all these things you interact with the devotees like this. The Madhyam knows how to do that with the Lord's devotees, and they're merciful to the ignorant people of the world. So if somebody is ignorant but pretty innocent, they try and help them. They try and always give them something that will advance them in spiritual life. And he avoids those who are envious by nature. If they know that, I don't like God, I don't like Krishna, I don't want anything to do with this, they say, okay. Instead of trying to jam it into someone, they say, I'll just go away from you, no problem. Even if it's your family, no problem. See you later. So this is what a Madhyam devotee does actually, like this. And then we were talking about the Uttam devotee. Did we talk about the Uttam devotee last time? So anyway, I'll read this paragraph again. In this Krishna consciousness movement, a chance is given to everyone without discrimination of caste, creed, or color. Everyone is invited to join this movement, sit with us, take prasad, and hear about Krishna. When we see that someone's actually interested in Krishna consciousness and wants to be initiated, we accept them as a disciple for the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. When a neophyte devotee is actually initiated and engaged in devotional service by the orders of the spiritual master, he should be accepted immediately as a bona fide Vaishnava, and obeisances should be offered unto him. Out of many such Vaishnavas, one may be found to be very seriously engaged in the service of the Lord, and strictly following all the regulative principles, chanting the prescribed number of rounds on japa beads, and always thinking of how to expand the Krishna consciousness movement. Such a Vaishnava should be accepted as an Uttamadikari, a highly advanced devotee, and his association should always be sought. So he's saying somebody who is actually initiated and engaged in the devotional service, he's kind of implying they should be treated as a madhyam. And remember, you should always offer your obeisances. You should always be humble before them, and you should always, always try to treat them with special care, all the devotees. But when somebody is following all the regular principles, chanting all the rounds they're supposed to, and always thinking about how to expand the Krishna consciousness movement, that Vaishnava should be accepted as an Uttamadikari, or a highly advanced devotee. And his association should always be sought. So this is actually what Prabhupada is saying. We should always be always seeking the association of high-class Vaishnavas. We should always be doing like this. If we have a chance to serve high-class Vaishnavas, this is our great fortune. This is how we'll make advancement, actually, in our spiritual life. So, very, very important. And these are the symptoms. They're always, they're always thinking how to expand the Krishna consciousness movement. They're chanting their rounds. They're following all the regulative principles, and that's it. And that's what they do. That's what Uttam Adhikaris do. So the process by which a devotee becomes attached to Krishna is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Diksha kale bhakta kare atma samarpana, se kale Krishna tare kare atma sama. At the time of initiation, when a devotee fully surrenders to the service of the Lord, Krishna accepts him to be as good as he himself. Diksha, or spiritual initiation, is explained in the Bhakti Sandarbha, 868 by Srila Jiva Goswami. Divyam jnanam yato dadyat koyat papasya sankshayam dasma diksheti sa prokta deshikais tattva kovidai. By Diksha, one gradually becomes disinterested in material enjoyment and gradually becomes interested in spiritual life. So this is kind of the what happens with Diksha and by Diksha. And you'll actually find Diksha is actually something of the heart. There's a formal Diksha. You do a fire yagya, get a sadhu here, and a Brahmin priest, and we do the yagya for the Diksha. But actually Diksha is something that's happening in the heart. And that's when you're hearing enough Harikatha where you're realizing that, oh, this material enjoyment I've been engaged in for so long in this life and many lifetimes, I'm no longer interested in this. I realize that this is empty. This gives no pleasure. This is actually ruining my life. And this is ruining my life and everyone's life around me. I'm no longer interested in this. And so when that happens and you become interested in spiritual life, this is when Diksha is happening. Whoever is making that happen in you, you should become very interested in that person. You'll be like, oh, this person, they're helping me tremendously. And if you want to make advancement in that, you keep finding advanced personalities who will help you further become disinterested in these material avidya, maya conclusions of life, and interested in the spiritual conclusions that will guarantee happiness. Will give you that susukam kartam, these joyful activities of bhakti. That you'll pratyakshavāgamam. Pratyakshavāgamam. It's hard to say. But anyway, you'll be directly realizing through your own experience. So this is what happens. You'll experience that, oh yes, I don't know why I've been focused on intoxication or these unclean foods or all these news and work and whatever I've been focusing on, all these things, they give no, for material enjoyment, they give no happiness actually. What am I doing? These are all like, by jnana you realize this is crazy. What am I doing? Why am I doing like this? So you should be everyone should become very interested in spiritual life. Yes.
Well, sometimes you're with sadhus and you feel that in the moment, and at the time.
Yes.
But then it's and you're kind of on a high and you don't have any of this, interest. For example, in Vrindavan, I've experienced this. But then you're not with the sadhus, and you come back and time goes on and the inspirations. So how do you
there's a couple of things. Keep going around. You should always be seeking out these uttamadhikaris. You should always be seeking out these advanced devotees. Other thing you can do is that you can ask the sadhus for instructions. And when the sadhu gives you instructions, you can be empowered by their instruction and you can feel they're actually with you because you're doing that which is instructing you. And Prabhupada often gave that the difference between vapu or his body seva and Vani Seva or his instructional seva. And he always said over and over again, Vani Seva is better. So if you get instructions from these sadhus and you follow their instructions, no matter where you are, and even if you're surrounded by all worldly people, but you're in your heart, you're following them, you're with them in instruction and in purpose, you're with them actually. That's how Prabhupada came to the West. And he was performing the Vani Seva of his guru, and he started a worldwide movement. He had no devotee association. None of his... And barely any of his godbrothers cooperated with him. Some did actually, but not very many. All of the other devotees that he respected. But ultimately he was following the Vani Seva of his guru, and he was wildly successful. So similarly, we'll become wildly successful if we can take the best instruction from the most high-class sadhus that are available to us. And then by that instruction, we can, if we can associate with them, that's great. And then, but they may send us on a mission at some point. No, it would be really good if you, this place of the world really needs more bhakti. If you establish something right here. And then by their instruction, you can feel empowered. That's what Prabhupada did, and that's what many of his disciples have done. So, actually Prabhupada might say here, we've seen many practical examples of this, especially in Europe and America. Many students who come to us from rich and respectable families quickly lose all interest in material enjoyment and become very eager to enter into spiritual life. Although they come from very wealthy families, many of them accept living conditions that are not very comfortable. Indeed, for Krishna's sake, they are prepared to accept any living condition as long as they can live in the temple and associate with the Vaishnavas. We've seen that here, Madhav and now Ben and even Tulsi and Piyush, sometimes it's not like we're always putting them in such lavish situations, even though everyone gets fed really nicely and things like that. But sometimes we're moving them around, we make them share rooms, sometimes even share beds, things like that, depends on the scenario. Even myself, me and my wife and child are all squeezed in one bed, trying to make things work, like that. But that's, but yeah, that it's worth it if you can live in the temple and associate with Vaishnavas and have a life where you can constantly be associating with Vaishnavas. I would never trade my life for any other thing. If someone said, "Oh, but you know what? You can have $2 million a year if you do this thing, that thing, and this thing." Well, I was like, "Well, but will I get to worship the Lord and will I get to associate with Vaishnavas? Maybe sometimes, but not really. Oh, that's okay. This is a good arrangement. This is actually." You'll become disinterested. What's $2 million a year? You can stack this up for your whole life, but you can't take it with you. But the value you get from the Vaishnavas, from the enlightened souls, that will go with you. That will help you advance, and that will direct where you're going next. So that's the real value. That's the real wealth. And the Vaishnavas realize this. They're not chasing wealth. They're not chasing material assets. They're not chasing sensual pleasures. They're chasing the instructions and revelations of the high-class sadhus who are being empowered by Krishna and who have surrendered to Krishna completely to receive that empowerment in her and teaching us how to more deeply surrender. So this is the wealth of the Vaishnavas. We're not interested in the temporary monetary wealth. So like this. So when one becomes so disinterested in material enjoyment, he becomes fit for initiation by the spiritual master. For the advancement of spiritual life, Srimad Bhagavatam prescribes tapasa brahmacharyena shamena cha damena cha. When a person is serious about accepting diksha, he must be prepared to practice austerity, celibacy, and control of the mind and body. I never could have even imagined in my life that, these things, even the things that I do every day and the vows that I've made every day, that yes, I would like to do this one day. I never could have imagined, but actually, through association with Vaishnavas, I've had the realization about the glories of these things. I've had the realization that, yes, these material pleasures can and never have made you happy before, cannot make you happy in the future, and ultimately they give a futile result. And when you realize this, you get disinterested in these things, and the next thing you know, you're being a monk or something like that. And I never, I very much wanted to get married because I just couldn't imagine this type of path. And then Krishna tricked me, because even now by getting married and practicing bhakti, he almost forced me into all these things anyway. Because, this is actually what gives happiness. If you actually try to understand life in reality. These things will give happiness. Being disciplined, having spiritual disciplines, being celibate, not wasting the human essence, very vital nutrients and hormones and things that will really help sharpen and refine the mind for spiritual life. Not wasting these things. And controlling the mind and body. So if one is so prepared and is desirous of receiving spiritual enlightenment, divyang jnanam, he is fit for being initiated. So once someone is desirous of receiving this enlightenment, you're fit for being initiated. And that's ultimately, this is, I won't speak this on Saturday, but this is ultimately one of the conclusions of Guru Purnim, is that one should strive for a guru like Vyas and to completely surrender onto such a guru in life. So anyhow, let me see if there's any more here. How much more is in this pair? Oh, yeah, plenty. All right. Divyam Jnanam is technically called Tadvijnana, or knowledge about the Supreme. Tadvijnanartham Saguru Meva Bigache, Mundaka Upanishad 1-12. When one is interested in the transcendental subject matter of the Absolute Truth, he should be initiated. Such a person should approach a spiritual master in order to take Diksha. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.3.21 also prescribes Tasmad Gurum Prapadyeta Jigyasu Shreya Uttamam. So therefore, Tasmad is therefore Gurum, a guru, Prapadyeta, you should surrender unto a guru. Jigyasu Shreya Uttamam. Jigyasu, if you're inquisitive, Shreya, into good. If you want the ultimate, and Uttamam is the topmost. If you want the topmost good in your life, Krishna is saying you should surrender to a guru. Does everyone want the topmost good? Who here says I don't want the topmost good in their life? Anyone? So now, if you really want, it's a lot because the false ego is so fixed and no, I'm the master, I'm the controller. I'm doing fine, everything's fine. It's not fine. Samsara davana lalidha loka. Samsara, this wheel of birth and death, davanala, is like a forest fire. Lidha, afflicting, loka, the whole world. Everyone is in this forest fire. We have not escaped birth, death, disease, and old age. It's coming for us too. No matter where you're at in life, it's coming. Death is coming. Old age is coming. Disease is coming. You're not free. The only way to get free is actually by the transcendental personality who is already surrendered to Krishna and received the transcendental reality and now is ready to give it to others. And then you can be initiated into that and having that yourself. So this is the process. So if you're actually inquisitive, well, what's the ultimate good for me? You should find a guru. They will reveal that to you. We're not anyone's guru here. That's why we're inviting gurus here. And we say, please come meet the gurus. Because actually this is people's real opportunity is available. And when people become very intelligent into the ultimate good for their life, then they will surrender. We had actually really good success this year. We had many people surrender to gurus this year.
And one needs tons and tons of difficult experiences before one surrenders completely.
Well, that's one way. Krishna says the 4 types of people who come to him in Bhagavad Gita are the distressed, is one person. Then he says the person who's in need of artha, need of wealth or resources or something. The third is the inquisitive person who's just like, hey, well, what's the meaning of life? What's going on here? Who's got some good teachings here? Ooh, Bhagavad Gita, I'll check that out. But do you know who he says is the best one who comes to him?
Yeah.
The jnani. The one who's realized in knowledge. That's the best one who will actually come to him. Why? Because nobody is ready to practice bhakti. In the beginning, everyone is coming contaminated with material endeavors. So at some point, the jnani, when he approaches Krishna and worships him with all his heart and eventually surrenders unto Krishna, then he'll actually, Krishna says this in the Uddhav Gita, he'll chop down this material existence with the axe of jnana, and then do you know what he does with the axe when he's done? No, he throws the axe away. It's not necessary. Yeah, it's no longer necessary. That's what Krishna says in Uddhav Gita. He says something similar in the Bhagavad Gita in the 15th chapter to cut down this material illusion with the sharp sword of knowledge. He doesn't yet tell to throw it away. In Uddhav Gita, in Bhagavatam, that's when he reveals to throw it away and focus purely, wholly and solely on bhakti. But that's the topmost jnana. And at one point, when one is fully realizing jnana, then you become a full bhakta. So this is conclusion of Bhagavatam. This is Krishna's conclusion in Uddhav Gita to Uddhav. Uddhav was a great jnani scholar. He had all the topmost jnana. And then Krishna gave him the highest level teaching that the Bhagavatam has to offer. And then he's saying, now get rid of this. All this jnana, get rid of it. And fully and wholly just surrender to me. So, and how do you do that? Is through a guru. You do this from the guru who is completely. Krishna says this. This isn't, this isn't that, Prabhupada is crazy, he's speaking like this, Rupa Goswami is crazy, he's saying like this. Krishna says it, Bhagavad Gita 4:34. Tad vidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshina. He's saying that tad, he's referring, because he's speaking previously of jnana, of knowledge. Tad vidi, that understanding of that knowledge. Pranipatena, how does it come? Through submission. You surrender unto that. You become very submissive before the person with knowledge. Pariprashna, what is that, Bala?
Inquiry.
Yes, you ask questions. You ask questions. Don't think, I know everything already. No, you ask questions. You must ask questions. Pariprashna, and then seva. Then you do service unto them. Humbly. Not the service that you want to do. What do they want? What do they request? Sevaya. Then upadekshanti, they will reveal te unto you jnanam, that knowledge. Jnaninas tattva darshana, for they hold that knowledge for their tattva darshan. They see the truth. They've been revealed the truth, they have it. So Krishna is saying, this isn't, I did not say, Prabhupada did not say, Rupa Goswami did not say, Krishna is saying in 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that you must approach the person with knowledge. And Krishna will give that knowledge to somebody. And they have to be a living person. Why? Because, we can all try and surrender to Prabhupada right now in his books. Oh yes, I'm surrendered to following his teachings in the books. But who is the person who is filtering the information at the end of the day? What? Ideally, but who's really doing it if we're just relying on Prabhupada's books? Us. Our contaminated and conditioned mind. And I did this. I read Bhagavad Gita 9 times and I didn't really make that much advancement. Why? Because I was realizing I was putting my own interpretation of Bhagavad Gita and I was cheating, I had a confirmation bias. Whatever lined up with what I believed, I would accept, and whatever didn't line up with what I believed, I said, well, maybe we could understand this a different way, So we all do this. This is the cheating. It's called vipralipsa. It's just one of the defects of the living entity, the conditioned living entity. We all do this. That's why you need an enlightened guru who has had that removed by their guru, so that you can ultimately have that removed from you, because if they don't hold you accountable, you'll never hold yourself accountable. That's why coaches and trainers and all these self-help gurus, why they're so successful, because people don't hold themselves accountable. We cheat ourselves all the time. So, and you will always do that in your conditioned state. It's one of the effects of the living entities in this world. You must surrender to a guru. It's very important. When one is transcendental science of the absolute truth, actually, he should approach a spiritual master. So, and they have to be alive. They have to be alive, and also they have to have gone through this process themselves. There's so many so-called gurus out there. Oh, he's a guru, this guru, this guru. Oh yeah, you just get the guru at the guru store down the street where I was born. I have my family guru. No, what makes a guru a guru? Krishna says in Uddhav Gita. He says in this verse, Tasmad gurum prapadyeta jigyasya shreya uttamam. The Prabhupada didn't quote it here, but the rest of the verse is Shabde pare chanishnatam Brahmanyupashamashraya, which means Shabde, the transcendental sounds. He has been filled with the Shabda, with the transcendental sounds from his guru. And now he is giving these transcendental sounds. So he's familiar with all of the Vedas, and he's transmitting that wisdom of the Vedas now unto you. Shabde pare. The pare is the topmost, this transcendental sounds. Not, he's not familiar, like Shukracharya, for instance, is familiar with all of the worldly knowledge. He can tell you how to, get the most blessings in this yagya or this things that. No, this is not what the guru is telling. He's telling you the topmost thing, how to please Krishna, how to ultimately surrender unto God. This is what the guru is telling. So this pare, this topmost knowledge, Shabde pare chanishnatam. He's fully conversant in these things. He has all the realizations, or at least way more than you, and he can really help you. And then, what's the other symptom? Brahman upashamashraya. He's always absorbed in Brahman. He's always absorbed in the absolute truth. He's not bogged down by, we have to make money, we have to, do this political thing or this thing, or we have to do all these things. He's always absorbed in the absolute truth. What does Krishna want? And this is what we must do. And like that, he's never, and upashamashraya, he's taken shelter of detachment. He's completely detached from material things. Always absorbed in Brahman, completely detached from material things, and fully conversant on the conclusions of the scriptures, and has been infused with that himself by his guru, and then he can share it. Actually, I'm only sharing with you things that have been given to me. I've read this before, and I never knew the other aspects of the verse and things, but even in the past year, there have been different sadhus and gurus have come and made me realize these things. So now I can actually, from what I heard from them, I can just transmit to you. So that's all that's happening actually. So, oh wow, he's so smart, he remembers something. It's actually only because I heard this earlier this year. I had these realizations, someone had made me realize this. So, one should not accept a spiritual master without following his instructions, nor should one accept a spiritual master just to make a fashionable show of spiritual life. One must be jigyasu, very much inquisitive to learn from the bona fide spiritual master. The inquiries one makes should strictly pertain to transcendental science. Jigyasu Shreya Uttamam. What is the ultimate good? And you have to be, you have to follow their instructions. You have to, it's not, okay, I'm realizing this person's more advanced than me, but then they tell you something and then I cannot accept this. You have to be humble and realize, no, they see something higher than me. But actually you should also test, Shabde Pare Chanishnatam Brahman Upashamashraya. Do they have this qualification? Are they conversant with the conclusions of the Vedas? Have they received these conclusions from Guru in their life? And able to give it to you like this? And are they fixed fully in the absolute truth, the conclusion of bhakti unto the Supreme Lord, and detached from material things? This you have to test and study. And then you can surrender unto that person. You observe them. So anyhow, so the word uttamam refers to that which is above material knowledge. Tama means the darkness of this material world, and ut means transcendental, above tama, above ignorance. Generally, people are very interested in inquiring about mundane subject matters. But when one has lost such interest and is simply interested in transcendental subject matters, he is quite fit for being initiated. When one is actually initiated by the bona fide spiritual master, and when he seriously engages in the service of the Lord, he should be accepted as a madhyamadikari. So when one is actually no longer interested in worldly subject matters, and they're ready to actually surrender unto a spiritual master and take this process very seriously, they actually madhyamadikari. So that type of person who's done this in their life, they should be given lots of respect from other those who are also trying to make advancement. Not that we should, oh, look at me, I'm initiated now, where's my worship? No, they'll never want worship for themselves. But you, as the devotee, you should see such personalities as actually very respectable. And you should and see how you can be of service to them. So this is madhyamadikari. Now what's to speak of the uttamadikaris from which they've taken shelter? The madhyamadikaris, their gurus. So we also should try and make relationships with these uttamadikaris. The chanting of the holy names of Krishna is so sublime that if one chants the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra offenselessly, carefully avoiding the 10 offenses, he can certainly be gradually elevated to the point of understanding that there is no difference between the holy name of the Lord and the Lord himself. One who has reached such an understanding should be very much respected by neophyte devotees. One should know for certain that without chanting the holy name of the Lord offenselessly, one cannot be a proper candidate for advancement in Krishna consciousness. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 22:69, it said, Yahara Komala Shraddha Se Kanishta Jana Krame Krame Tenho Bhakta Haibe Uttama. One whose faith is soft and pliable is called the neophyte. Gradually, following the process, he will rise to the platform of a first-class devotee. Everyone begins his devotional life from the neophyte stage. But if one properly finishes chanting the prescribed number of rounds of Harinam, he is elevated step by step to the highest platform, Uttamadikari. The Krishna consciousness movement prescribes 16 rounds daily because people in the Western countries cannot concentrate for long periods while chanting on beads. Therefore, the minimum number of rounds is prescribed. However, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say that unless one chants 64 rounds of japa, that's 100,000 names, daily, he is considered fallen or patita. According to his calculation, practically every one of us is fallen. But because we are trying to serve the Supreme Lord with all seriousness and without duplicity, we can expect the mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is famous as Patita Pavan, the deliverer of the fallen. So, one who is truly advanced, and you may meet such a personality in your life. They chant maybe 64 rounds. They're completely, and we've met such personalities. We've had some of those personalities here. They chant 64 rounds of Harinam. They have such a taste for chanting the holy name. They have such an experience of associating with Krishna via the name. It's not just a technology or a tool or a mantra that will give you all kinds of material benefits. It's actually the way that Krishna will associate with you with the right understanding and with the right revelation. And by one of these personalities revealing that to you, you can actually experience that for yourself. I cannot make you experience that personally, because I've only have such a little realization in this. Myself, I'm still working through the Madhyam platform, trying to be a proper Madhyam. But the Uttamadhikaris, they're really, really, they're very advanced. And they have realization and association with Krishna via the name, via his name. So we should try and serve them, we should try and learn from them. And so when we have guests, please come hear from the guests. This is so important. There's such rare opportunities are actually present. Not every one of our guests will be an Uttamadhikari, but our guests will always be more advanced than ourselves, or at least very good for the people, the common people to associate with. So please come and associate with our guests. And and if you try this sincerely, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Patita Pavan. He will deliver the fallen. Yes, we're all starting out in the neophyte or fallen stage, and it might seem insurmountable. I can't even sit and chant one round. My mind is too anxious. I have so much so-called things I have to worry about, or worldly responsibilities. Don't you worry. By your whatever little bit of surrender you do, Krishna will definitely, Hare Krishna Ben, Krishna will definitely reciprocate with you, and you will get that deliverance. So let's try, actually, now that Ben has come. We'll end here. See how, wow, this is a long verse. So we'll go on with this next week. We'll chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra together, and then